Hello everyone, Rowan here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the Disney Villains book tag. So a friend of mine asked me to do this a few weeks ago, and while she doesn't have a booktube channel, so she didn't technically tag me, I looked this over and it sounded super fun and I love villains, so I decided I was going to do it anyways. So I'm just going to jump right in. Okay, so Maleficent, a book or book series in which there is an overwhelming sense of evil or doom. So for this one, I think I'm going to have to pick probably the Throne of Glass series, to be honest. That's the book series that every time a new book comes out, I'm most nervous, excited to see what's going to happen, and literally every time I turn a page, I'm just so scared that something just horrible and evil is going to happen. And I think it's just the way that Sarah J. Maas is so unpredictable, and I think because of that and because of the book series itself and the world and the fact that it's kind of a dark world to begin with, I mean, it constantly stresses me to think about. Okay, The Evil Queen, a book or book series in which the villain tricks the hero. For this one, I'm gonna have to go with the obvious answer of Harry Potter, because constantly throughout the books, it just kind of feels like Voldemort is running circles around Harry. You just have this horrible feeling that even though I've read the books and I know what's gonna happen, when I'm rereading them, you get this feeling that Voldemort is always 2 steps ahead and he's constantly tricking him all the time. The 5th book is a prime example. Okay, next, Cruella de Vil, a book or book series in which the villain brings about their own demise. So this one was a little hard for me, but I think I finally figured one out. I'm gonna have to go with every person in every book of the Other series by Anne Bishop that decides that they're going to try to go against the others. Which in this book series, the others are vampires and werewolves and, supernatural creatures. And basically every time that somebody thinks that they're gonna get one up on them, or they're gonna do something evil and try to, stab them in the back or trick them or something, they fail horribly. The thing that people don't seem to realize in this book series is that the others are super overpowered. Super overpowered. So the second anybody tries anything, any bad guy tries to get in and take somebody or kill somebody or anything, they just get wrecked. It's not even funny. So every person that decides to go against the others should have known better, and they really deserve what they got for being idiots. Ursula, a book or book series that left you speechless. Okay, this one was really obvious to me, and that is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. Unfortunately, though, I can't really say why. But if any of you guys have read this series, you know why. Just the ending, yeah, I mean, that's that. Next, Captain Hook, a book or book series in which you just can't take the villain seriously. For me, I decided to go with Galbatorix from the Aragon series, which, for me, I think the reason I had trouble with him as a villain isn't because he wasn't evil or he was silly or anything, but he didn't really have any, page time in any of the books, at all, as far as, it's been a while since I read them, but, so if I'm wrong on any of this, I don't think I am, but if I am, don't judge me. So he doesn't really have a whole lot of page time, he's just kind of this evil presence looming over the land. And then in the last book, when the showdown finally comes between, Aragon and Galbatorix, the way that the ending came about, and I'm purposely trying to be really, vague for those of you that haven't read these books, was really disappointing and silly. And now when I go back and read the books, I just cannot take Galbatorix seriously at all. He lost all of his, mighty mojo after the last book. Next is Jafar, a book or book series in which the villain almost wins. For this one, I'm going to have to go with the Kate Daniels series by Ilona Andrews. I know that there's probably a lot of books out there where the hero or heroine just wins by, the skin of their teeth. But for me, the Kate Daniels series always has kind of, the ultimate showdown at the end with the villain. And just about every single time there's a showdown, it is so intense. And you just get to the point where you're reading and you just think, oh my gosh, they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. There's no way. How could they possibly beat this? Next is Hades, a book or book series in which you can't help but love the villain. Okay, this one was a bit harder for me because villains are my favorite. I love a good villain. So the one that came to mind immediately, it may not be my favorite of all time, but this one definitely probably is like one of the most recent ones I've read, is The Darkling from the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I didn't love the book series. Like, I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. But the one thing that I did really love was the Darkling. He was such an intriguing character throughout most of the series, and he just had this seductive way about him where he made the dark side look tempting. I mean, he was like a master manipulator in so many ways, and I was so intrigued by him. Like, I read the whole book series really just wanting him and, oh my gosh, Elena? Was it Elena? Elena, I don't remember what her name is. Anyway, I wanted the two of them to end up together and like rule the world with like an iron fist of darkness. I liked him. Next is Scar, a book or book series with family betrayal. For this one, basically any Cassandra Clare book that's horrible, and not to like spoil anything, but family betrayal is pretty common in the Mortal Instruments series, and it's another thing that shows up a time or two in the The Infernal Devices, there we go. I was like, the Clockwork Hodgepodge of Things series. Okay, the Infernal Devices series. Cassandra Clare seems to like to run with the theme of family betrayal, backstabbing, which is kind of depressing when you think about it, but very effective when you're reading. Next is Gaston, a book series where the villain makes a fool of themselves. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna have to go with the Volturi from the Twilight series. I haven't read those books in a long time, but I do remember that they were the lamest villains, like, ever. Like, I hated them. They were stupid. They weren't even that scary. Like, they were scary. They had, like, their scary faces on all the time, but then when it came time to, like, throw down, disappointing. That ending, disappointing. I wanted a huge battle. I wanted multiple deaths. I wanted bloodshed and crying and angst, and it was lame. And finally, Hans, a book series with a villain you didn't see coming. Okay, this one is spoilers, like, big time. For me, it was Maven from Red Queen. I read that book, and I wasn't sure, like, which brother's side I was on. I mean, they were both kinda iffy, but then I got really, like, Team Maven. Like, I really liked him. He was stepping it up. His betrayal at the end was mind-blowing and horrifying and shocking and upsetting, and I really want the next book because he's evil. Like, I love him because he was so good at being good, but he's actually evil. Like, I love it. I love it. I'm really, really, really excited to see what kind of evil is in store for the next book, because I feel like somebody that can fake being that good and is okay, like, getting that close to your heart only to turn around and, like, kill you is really messed up, and I'm excited. Okay, you guys, so there is my Disney Villains book tag, and I just realized I'm supposed to tag other people, and I did not plan ahead for this, so I will probably tag some people, like, in my little description thing. Sorry. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.